Yo, what's going down, everybody? It's Trippy Cakes. Today's video, well, one of them is the Ronin review. Now, I waited a little while to do this because I wanted to play around and see how it was, and I really wanted to do this without, repeating myself. So there's stuff to go over, so we'll just jump into it. So this is my Ronin. He's level 70. I think all of his gears are at 25 except for one. He's got about 19,000 physical attack without a damage lead, and his defenses, in my opinion, are pretty low, but we'll get into that in a bit. So these are my Urus. Nothing is under 4-star, which is surprising when I test somebody out because I usually don't like to spin things that, I really hate the Uru system, so I try not to spin good ones. Anyway, I didn't need any cooldown reduction because he already got that, or crit damage because he was maxed out due to the CTP that I put on him. Excuse me. Now, I do enhance him to rank 4. I usually, will enhance a character up to around about this area, and then the materials get ridiculous and stuff starts failing. But after that, I went into his ISL set, put Hawk's Eye on him, go figure. And I didn't give him any Uru or any Awakened ISLs because I wanted to see how he fared. But I wanted to put something up there enough to, give him a little bit of a boost to see potentially what he was capable of. And I did not level up his uniform yet because, again, I wasn't sure if I wanted to level it. But after playing around with it for such a, pretty decent period of time, I know this is one of the uniforms that I am definitely going to take to Mythic because he is pretty damn fun to use. So then, as I said before, I have a CTP energy on him. I was thinking PvP, I still kind of am, but since I had like 8 energies sitting in my inventory, I slapped this one on him, just to kind of see, how he would do, because he's got a lot of chain damage in there, so I said, why not? And I don't regret that so far. So in order to, basically what I gotta say is he went from 0 to hero. How do you go from one of the worst characters in the game to probably one of the best of his type? So I took him into World Boss, Proxima Midnight stage 40. I typically run 40s to kind of test damage and how they take damage. And speaking of taking damage, I think the primary problem with Ronin is a lot like the Winter Soldier. Like, he can dish out a massive amount of damage, but when it comes to, getting hit, he's kind of a little bit of a glass cannon. And that was one of my worries with PvP. Like, yeah, he can do this damage and he's got really good iframes, but like, what if the AI doesn't choose the right skills in Alliance Conquest or Timeline Battle? And then, I get that invincibility proc early. Plus, there's all this piercing nowadays. So it's really, I guess it's just kind of your preference. There, let's just put it that way. Whatever your preference is, I do believe you can make Ronin do. Now, one of my favorite things about Ronin is that 4 skill. His 4 skill is probably the best to proc his CTP or damage proc or whatever it is that you have on him because it does so much damage. It's a lot like Gambit's 5th skill, but the cool thing about it is you're not reliant on just that 4 skill, kind of like you are with Gambit's 5th skill. He's got a whole arsenal of different things that he can use, and I'm sure everybody's played around in skill preview by now with it, or if they already have it, they played around with it, actually taking them through missions and stuff. So I gotta say, overall his fighting is very clean. Visually, it's a treat. It's weird to be saying so many good things about Hawkeye, like, because man, Hawkeye, he needed help, and this was a really insane amount of help that he got. So I gotta honestly say that this is one of the more impressive uniforms that have dropped during in-game. We got some really good uniforms. I can't always say that because, like when Magneto's uniform came out, I was not too impressed with that at all. Wolverine's last one that he got with his tier 3, I kind of like it, but there were some things where I was like, there were opportunities to change so much. These are the changes that I'm looking for. I'm looking for in all, I want my character to feel like how it felt going from Hawkeye to Ronin. So the next thing that I did is I went and I took him against Thanos, which is 13-8. So Destruction would be another choice CTP to put on him due to the whole ignoring of iframes. But man, this guy's damage is so nasty. It's like, you can't help it. I wanted to show off a little bit of his skills because I didn't want to have a video where I'm just spamming the 4th and 5th skill over and over. But they have such a short cooldown and they do so much damage, you can't help but do it. And I guess the 3rd skill would be my runner-up. And that's not to say the other 2 skills are no good. They're actually very great skills as well. So, I mean, that really says something about Ronin. Like, this video was nothing but praise to him. So naturally, as I do with every review of characters or uniform, and this honestly feels like an entirely new character review, I always go and I beat the crap out of Odin just for the time period that he came out. He was such a pain to defeat without using specific characters, and it's good to see that Ronin's DPS is actually stacking up pretty nicely. I gotta say, I love this uniform, I really do, and I just can't get over the fact that I'm actually displeased with the Hawkeye uniform. I don't even think I can call him Hawkeye anymore. Hawkeye doesn't exist. He got erased from this game and replaced by Ronin. Now see right there? That's what I was talking about squishy. Like, oh man, like if he gets hit too many times, it's over. So my prediction, and as far as PvP goes, because you know, I'm not gonna set him up for PvP, but if you were to set him up for PvP, then I'm gonna say, you know, you want to slap something with invincibility on there, crit rate or crit damage if you are low in either one of those departments, or, you know, go for the authority, whichever one that you have available. Either one of them will work, and that ranges from anybody who's free to play or somebody who likes to wail out. So overall, my report card is Ronin gets an A+, and like, whew, I gotta say, if you have not picked up this uniform, he is definitely top 3 for me. I should actually do a video where I rank where these uniforms go, but you will not be disappointed with Ronin, especially if you put some work in on him. He will be an outstanding addition to your roster, even though he's speed type. Thanks for watching. I'm out.